that this can happen to any of us, and I have total empathy for you, them trying to ruin your life, doing all of this, and, you know, realizing that the TSA is so criminal on every level. But I'm sorry, please continue.
Okay, so what happened next was I didn't hear anything for a while. And then in August, so that was a few months after June, my friend, who's actually a federal agent with the State Department, not part of the Department of Justice, called me up. And he told me that those 2 FBI agents had met with him in Washington, because that's where he was stationed, and told him to tell me to get rid of my ACLU lawyers if I ever wanted to get off the no-fly list. So I really was mad about this, because now my good friend they're using to talk to me without a lawyer. Once you say lawyer, they're not supposed to talk to you without a lawyer. So they went and told him I needed to get rid of the ACLU and talk with them and meet with them again if I ever wanted to get off the no-fly list.
This is so illegal. They're saying you don't stand up for your rights or you'll never get off that list. I mean, it's insane.
It is. And so, I mean, I called my lawyer up right away, and, you know, she was shocked, but she wasn't shocked because she hears this stuff all the time. That's what she deals with. And so then we didn't hear anything for a few more months. And then the case was due to go to court in November 2010. And about a week before the case went to court, all of a sudden, the FBI starts showing up at all my friends' houses, just out of the blue, and just asking questions about me. Well, what do you think of Abe? Has Abe ever done anything unethical or illegal? And they were just like, no, Abe's a great guy. You know, I've never had trouble with him. He's not an extremist in any way. And
they see what they do is they'll have a criminal say they sold you drugs and put you in jail. They don't care. That's what's so scary about these people.
Well, yeah, and they even went to my father-in-law's house. You know, I've been married to his daughter at the time for 10 years and had 3 grandchildren at the time with her. And, you know, what do they expect him to say negative about me? Their whole investigation made absolutely no sense.
Well, except it was harassment.
It was, and it was embarrassing. You know, and so what happened next was, you know, I called the ACLU up, let them know that they were running around meeting with my friends, and we figured it out. I mean, the case was going to court in a week, and they had absolutely no investigation about me. And just in case the judges asked, hey, you know, what do you guys have against this guy? They had to be able to say something. That's what we thought.
Well, they want to say, we've done a deep investigation, sir. We can't give it to you. It's national security.
Right, right. So, after that, you know, they did their best to stall the case. They actually told, they were successful in one way where they told the ACLU, the judges agreed that they filed the case in the wrong jurisdiction, that you can only sue the TSA in certain courts, and the ACLU filed it in the 9th district. So that was what happened last Friday. Was we finally had oral arguments to appeal that decision, and they went really well. But you know, Alex, how it goes. I mean, these federal judges, it can go either way. To me, it's an open shut case. You know what I mean? But
a secret police system has put a man with an innocent person with no convictions, an honorably discharged Marine, on a list where you can't do your business. This is the height of pure tyranny. I mean, this is the essence of a fascistic, sicko state. These FBI guys want to live in a country where their kids grow up. Don't they know that when you knock the law down, you knock down your freedoms?
Yes.
I mean, don't they know they're digging their own grave politically? Don't they understand? Oh my God, this country is in so much trouble.
Yeah, it was a big shock for me as well, you know, and, you know, you lose a lot of respect for the things you didn't know. I was just ignorant to a lot of the things.
I was about to say, you say it's embarrassing for you. Brother. Everybody's learning about how corrupt this government is. The ATF, the FBI, all of them. They're the ones that are losing all respect. They're the ones. They're the ones. Everybody's learning about this.
Yeah, and that's what I've done. I mean, that's why I wrote the book and everything else. And I've done a lot of college appearances locally. Obviously, I can't fly anywhere. And I've done my best and done my best to kind of awaken people. A lot of people are shocked by it, you know, and I hope it does wake everybody up so that maybe we can actually do something about it.
Well, we got to beat this now before it goes to everything, because I learned so much 10 years ago watching C-SPAN. Tom Ridge didn't even have the cabinet position yet. It hadn't been voted by Congress, but Homeland Security was set up, and I watched 2 hours. They had a big square of tables. We got to dig this up on C-SPAN archives. And they had all these corporate CEOs there, and it was the plan for no-fly list, no gun-buy list. You're going to have TSA approval to have a job. Now that's coming into many areas. And it was like, I was like, my God, I've seen all this in Nazi Germany. This was the Soviet Russia. This was East Germany. This is every authoritarian state. Internal checkpoints, passports to have jobs. Now the IRS trying to pass a law where no judge, no jury. If you haven't paid what they say, you can't leave the country. They revoke your passport. I mean, my God, this is just hardcore. And I've learned about all these people on death row and stuff. where it turns out the prosecutors know they're innocent and even know who killed the people. And it's even like dads with no criminal records, and it comes out that they like sending innocent people to prison. I mean, it's like demons infest government. I don't know what to say about it.
I'm going through it. You know, it's been bad for me, and it's taken a big toll on my family. You know, we drove to Disney World last February with a newborn and 3 children, 1,300 miles. You know, it takes time off your vacations. It takes us 3 days to get there, 3 days to get back, instead of just getting on a plane for 2 hours and having a good vacation. It's very stressful, and you know, it's just a major problem for me that there really doesn't seem to be an easy way out of this whole thing. And even with the court case, you know, it's been 2 years and nothing has happened. And, you know, I listened to the case on Friday because they let you listen to it through the 9th District. And I was really shocked because the federal judges, they didn't seem to know too much about the no-fly list and how it works. And it just doesn't make sense. How are they passing all these things then? And how is it legal to have these lists, you know, and they don't really know too much about it. And I was just shocked by some of the things I heard during the hearing.
Well, let me expand on that, because this is very important. You know, in criminology, when you're dealing with criminals, sometimes they haven't lost their soul completely. It's all about the power trip, the peer pressure. But when somebody's kidnapped a child or done something, the parents will go on air and say, this is my name. You know, little Jenny has a brother. He's very sad. You know, her grandparents love her. Please bring her back. Please let her go. She's a human. Would you like to look at the camera? Because the FBI will watch this. Would you like to explain to them you're a human, what they've done to you? I mean, some of them will actually enjoy it, but for others out there who may not want to lose their souls completely, because they all know they did 9/11, so they could take over. Why don't you talk to them right now? You know, this is the same FBI that found 2 passports in the rubble that day that survived. Anybody believes that? Not just that they would survive, but they'd be found. I mean, look at them. The head guy they used to whitewash all that, they just set up, the big FBI guy, by the way. They just put some child porn on his computer. That's how they work. But so they're pretty darn evil at the level that you're dealing with them. But to other FBI who haven't totally turned themselves over to evil, go ahead and speak to them. What would you like to say to them?
Well, just like I said at the last parts of my book, basically do the right thing. You know, you should have some type of conscience. Know that one day you're going to be judged before God, and you're going to have to answer for these things. You know, no matter what your religion is, most religions believe in a God. And you know, what do you think he's going to say to you when you tell him that you oppressed somebody like you did to me? You know, do the right thing. You know, if you can do the right thing and change the way things work, you're going to make the country the way it should have been in the first place anyways. So, I mean, that's what I would tell them. Just do the right thing. Come forward. Get rid of these stupid watch lists. They make no sense. They cost billions of dollars. And, you know, hopefully we could have this country back one day.
Abe, you're not thinking like they are. It makes perfect sense. The drug war, they say, doesn't make sense. Triple the heroin, triple the cocaine, prison population from 500,000 in 1976 to now 7.2 million in 2012. Giant banks laundering hundreds of billions a year, corrupting the police. They took over. The British took over China because China had opium illegal, and the British over 50 years used it to take over because they can control organized crime. It makes perfect sense that they're God and can put whoever they want on a no-fly list and then tell you to commit crimes against people, against their rights, or your life doesn't come back. It makes perfect sense, Abe. It's working well. They're taking over. 9/11 worked well for them. I mean, you say you're waking up, but to the victims out there, you got to fully wake up. You see what I'm saying?
I understand. You know, it's incredible that this is happening. And the worst part about it is the longer I've been on this, the more stories I'm hearing very similar to mine. I mean, even my case has 14 other plaintiffs, several of them veterans, almost all of us offered informant positions. So you have to think that they put you on this list, you know, specifically as leverage to make you do what they want you to do.
Abe Mashal, you're a human being, and I empathize with you and everybody else. And I know this is going to come down on my family, too. I mean, this is such incredible evil. And I don't know how you've dealt with it. I mean, I would be picketing outside their offices every day. I would be suing them personally. I know they claim they have immunity. I would be just absolutely off the hook. This is just, these people are such authoritarians. It's such a sick joke. Have you ever had a chance to run into them personally again? I mean, they are assaulting your life, your name, everything, and they think it's funny.
No, I haven't. I mean, you know, obviously anything moving forward that I say to them, it might not be in my best interest. My lawyers have even told me, just not, if they ever call me or anything, put the calls to them. But yeah, it's been infuriating for me, and it's difficult. It's just constantly sitting over my head these last few years. It doesn't go away, and I feel sorry for anybody who maybe isn't as strong as I have been through this whole process. Because it could definitely take a toll. It's depressing, and it makes you angry all at the same time. It's just unbelievable.
Well, they go to people's lawyers. Have you seen those cases and say, spy on your client and set them up? Well, that's totally illegal. I mean, in so many ways, Constitution, you name it, or we're not going to let you fly. These are prestigious people, and they can't fly.
Well, I had the opportunity on actually yesterday, because I was on another talk show in LA, and they had the former DHS director under the Bush administration on the show with me. And, he started talking about how our Constitution allows secret things to happen and this and that, which I totally disagreed with him on. But I did have the opportunity to tell him that he acts like a Nazi Gestapo, which he didn't like. But, that's been as close as I've been able to come to somebody who was used to be in power that actually had some type of effect. But like you said, they don't think that these lists are illegal in any way. They have all these crazy justifications how, the secrets are allowed to happen. We don't need to know anything. Only they have the right to know anything. And it's that part really frustrated me. You
can't extrajudicially tell somebody that the government comes and seizes transportation and says you can't fly. But they do it with planes because people think of that as like magic and special. They're now running checkpoints on the highways. They're saying you're not going to let you have a job. If anywhere, if they don't say it's okay. I mean, this is just so dangerous.
Yes. My mother-in-law was recently pulled aside. She lives up in North Dakota, and she was pulled aside to going on the Amtrak up there with one of those Viper teams. She never even heard of them, and they went through all of her stuff, and they told her she couldn't go unless they did.
Yeah, that's TSA as well. No, they're everywhere now. And it's just totally criminal what's happening to us. Well, I hope people get the book and get it out to folks, because we're going to have to confront this evil. And even though there's a lot of sellouts in the media and the power structure, people, it's time to recognize pure corruption for what it is. This is a huge danger to everyone. And they're even trying to put capital controls in where you can't get out of the country now. They're really trying to set up a full-bore tyranny. When you were in the Marine Corps, did you ever, I mean, you were kind of implying you were naive before.
Yeah, I didn't really, I was in from 99 till 03, and I was stationed at one base. I never went overseas, but I didn't, I never had any issues there. I don't know what the deal was. I never had any problems while I was in the Marine Corps. And it's not until I got out, obviously, that all this stuff happened.
Why do you think they chose you to try to be an informant? Because your wife's Christian, correct? And break down why you think they might have profiled you.
I think what they've done, this is all speculation on my part, but it's educated speculation because I've done a lot of research, talked to a lot of different people, is I think they've pulled the military discharge papers of all Muslims. And I think they can just justify throwing you on those lists. And they know that a majority of them are probably going to do what they want to get off of the list. They probably know that. And I think when they came over that day that I found out I was on the list and they used those question and answer sheets, that's exactly what they were doing. They were recruiting. They were figuring out everything about me. Maybe they already knew everything about me, but they were figuring it all out. And they were seeing, is this guy going to be a good fit? But at the same time, they weren't very smart about it because, I own 2 businesses. I got a wife and 4 children. I can't be out there moonlighting as a double agent or whatever they wanted me to be. It just makes absolutely no sense. But I think that's what they're doing. They're using the list as leverage. And,
yeah,